Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. Watches are timekeepers, keepers of good times and fond memories with our loved ones. It's more than just dollars and cents, as we are reminded by this collection. For Mark, 29 years old, in Germany. He graduated his master 2 years ago, and he's now the custodian of watches that were the pride and joy of his parents and his grandpa. And he's looking at perhaps adding one watch to his collection, one quality watch to start his own tradition. So very sadly, Mark's parents are no longer with us, but through their wristwatches, Mark can stay close to them. It's quite sentimental, this collection here. Firstly, he loves wearing his dad's Rolex Oyster date. It's a 34mm that he had serviced. Very nice watch. He also, as you can see on the picture here, enjoys wearing his mom's Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso, a very, very classy watch. And then he's got his grandfather's gold IWC, which is great because he never got to meet him. Absolutely cool watch. He's got a couple of other watches from his mom's collection, a Cartier and a golden piece that he doesn't really wear, also a swatch. And himself, like everybody does when you're a student, purchased a few watches, a Casio with a blue dial. He's got his first watch was the Tommy Hilfiger diver style watch. Little mementos of the past. And recently he got the fun GMT Timex. Alright, so Mark is asking me my advice. He's got an affinity for the Oyster Perpetual. He likes the sunburst blue dials. And of course he went to the different 80s around him, and they all gave him the runaround for the past year. Very difficult to get the new Oyster Perpetuals. He's tried the 41, the 36. By the look of the pictures, looks like 36 might be a better fit. 39 would be perfect. He had a look at the Tudors. When it comes to Tudors, my advice is to project yourself in the future. Which ones of today are going to be valuable, like the old Submariners? And I think that the current Pelagos FXD and the ceramic are the most interesting at the moment, the least derivative. They're really Tudor through and through, interesting pieces. So maybe adding a sports model, you could consider that. And that FXD, not easy to find, but could be an interesting piece to add. Now, also Mark sent me a picture of a beautiful vintage Air King, and I like that idea. This is the type of dial, the white dial you see here on the bottom left of the image. The kind of dial that I'm more and more attracted to looking at. In general, I think the vintage, the semi-vintage is more interesting at the moment. So main thing to see is that the market is getting cooler, is that little by little dealers are going to turn down pieces coming straight from flippers or straight from authorized dealers. If your heart is set on that Oyster Perpetual, as you mentioned, it is a bit redundant with the OP date of your father. So I think there's no hurry, right, to get it. Rolex is going to be making these new ones for many years, and I think that the blue and the black are the most likely colors to stay in the catalog for a long time. Obviously there's no rush. What I would do if I was you, as things are cooling down, I would go around to the smaller towns, just take a look on Google where you can find the Rolex authorized dealers. For example, from Belgium, I would often make the drive to Aachen, so it's Cologne. There's a nice little shop there. They have many brands, and visit them. They have things in the back. Of course, I don't know how things have been going the last 2 years because I couldn't travel back home But when I go in July, I will pay a visit to that shop. They are nice people, and maybe come in to check out some Nomos, check out some Glass Shooter Original, the German productions, and then just throw in, hey, by the way, my dream watch is the OP Blue in 36 or 41, and you wouldn't have one in the back by any chance. You never know, but it's good to have a discussion first about what you have in your collection, what you're looking for. Try other watches before you coming with your Rolex request. So I would go to the little towns. That one might be a bit far for you, but it's a chance for a nice drive on a Saturday or Sunday morning. I think it's good that you like Rolex. I always advise people first good watch you should buy should be a Rolex, because obviously I could start running the gamut of all the interesting brands. I could tell you need a chronograph from Zenith. They have nice blue watches if you like blue. Also, a Speedmaster would of course be nice in any collection. But yeah, Rolex is the one that will start a tradition in your own family, for you, and if you have kids, and that you kind of watch that you can pass on, that will hold value, hold interest, will transcend also all the fashions. Um, so this is the way I would approach it. Now, if you go more for the vintage, that the Air King, for example, is really, really nice. Depends a bit what you need on a daily basis. You already have your dad's OP, and it's been serviced, so I suppose it is water resistant sufficiently to pass the service of Rolex, and that's a great watch. So there's not really a big rush, is it? Especially when the market is so bad, and think things are coming off, and the cost of living is gonna increase. I think you don't have to rush the purchase, but that's the way I would approach it there in Germany. Visit smaller towns, try to express your interest into one specific watch. But in the meantime, it doesn't really hurt to get the Air King, for example, if you love it. I think it's really beautiful. It has a lot of class that sometimes is a bit lost on the modern Rolex, but the modern Rolex is just so convenient with a great clasp. And well, it looks more modern. Yeah, it is more adapted to our current taste. But you never feel wrong when you purchase a neo vintage one. And also you can choose your dials, and they're very special dials as well. So, but if you go that way, then better make sure that the watches has been properly taken care of, maybe serviced, the least polishing. I should speak, I bought a quite polished GMT, but yeah, the least polishing, the better. So you have more original metal. It's also easier to resell. Obviously, if you also have the original papers, it's also easier to resell if you don't think it's going to be a long-term keeper. But hey, might as well just go for the one you want, and be patient, and make a weekend out of it. Travel around Germany, discover a few things, and talk to the authorized dealers. I think a lot of watches are gonna become available as the reselling market is getting a lot weaker in the coming weeks. Also, with the seasonality effect of people spending money on holidays, going on holidays, being away from home, that gives you a better chance if you're there and ready to purchase. So there you go. These are my thoughts. I think it's a good idea for you to carry on the Oyster Perpetual tradition. Whether you go blue or different color, my favorite is the yellow, which is now discontinued, but nobody would sell it to me here, and the prices are a bit ridiculous. Overall, the prices are silly. The other watch I think would be perfect for your wrist size might be the 39, which is discontinued, so that's the reference 114300. I was checking out the prices yesterday, and it's around $9,000 US. I think it's too much. But they're very nice, the blue one with a bit of green on the indices. Also, the red grape is very cool. Perfect sizes, but they've been swept along with the rest into the rise of the prices. But you never know. Consider that one. Have a look. They're fairly modern watches, obviously. They haven't been discontinued for long, and you never know. Somebody might be selling one not far from you, and you could pick it up at a reasonable price. And I think those will remain special because of the color of the dials, because of a little playfulness in the indices, in the minute track, a bit of an extra color, and also because of the size, which has been discontinued. I think 29 is a perfect size for any watch, so do consider that one. Look around in the buy sell ads, whatever you have, Chrono 24 as well. There might be people starting to sell things that have gained in value, and be a bit more in a hurry than dealers who are going to try to keep the prices as high as possible, as long as possible, and I think they're not very reflective of the actual watch market prices. All right, thank you, Mark, for sharing your collection, your question. Guys, if you have any advice for Mark, if you're in Germany, if you're selling a nice Oyster Perpetual with a blue dial, or an interesting, well taken care of vintage Air King, let him know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.